Okay, well, I see the next item you have listed here is the Federal Bank of St. Louis as your next resource. Do you care to comment on that?
Yeah, this is a very good resource as well. So online, it's called FRED, Economic Data is another name for it. And they've been producing stats for years, maybe even longer, maybe decades online anyway. And they are a part of the U.S. Federal Reserve banking system. And they will cover almost any American economic data point you can think about. And they also allow you to download the data into Excel and then play around with it further. And that's a big highlight for me anyway, because sometimes it's great looking at information for free on trading economics, but other times I really want to download the data and have it in an Excel format. And this website does that for me.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a nice feature, being able to download in Excel format. So perhaps gives them a slight edge over trading economics in that regard.
Yeah, in that regard, for sure. You can pay up on trading economics and get the same feature, but if you can get it for free, why not get it for free?
That's right. Good. So does Fred also publish international data, or is it solely focused on the US?
Yes, they do publish international data, and I should say, actually, their international data is very good. They're I wouldn't say borrowing, but amalgamating the data that other countries publish for their national economies. And again, you can find it all right there. And because of the downloadability, it's great. Sometimes I'll go and actually download Canada-specific key performance indicators on their website because they do it quite well. And I should also say you can get regional data from Fred as well. And the regional data is very, very good. You can get academic data as well, although I don't actually claim to have done that very often. So I really like that. So you can get very granular within the United States, and you can do international. So it's great.
Perfect. So regional, does that mean state by state in Fred?
Yeah, sorry, that's exactly what I mean. Yes, it's broken down on a state by state level. They also do things like they will break down data by census area and Federal Reserve District and that sort of thing. But yeah, the primary one is on a state by state basis. So you can see how California versus Texas versus New York is doing on unemployment, for example.
Right. Okay, well, good. It's good to know. So regarding Fred's release calendar, have you used that feature much, and what do you think of it?
Yes, I do. It's sort of like Trading Economics calendar, except that they are including information that universities publish as well, and many other institutions are publishing. And when you go on there, it's mind-boggling how much is being produced. I mean, 25, 30 press releases a day can be expected, and that's just a lot. So I do use it, but I also find it a bit overwhelming.
That sounds like it'd be very easy to get lost in the noise if that many releases.
Yeah, for sure. And that's actually a good segue just to point out that there's always a lot of noise in markets and in investing in general. And for investors out there or even traders out there, it's always important to remember that no single data point actually holds that much meaning, especially without a historic context. And then the real kicker is, even if you understand the historical context, it might be actually very hard to translate that data and that historical context into an actionable idea and an investable idea. So, it's not easy or straightforward.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I guess that's why you're a bottom-up investor first and a macro watcher second. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, that's what has worked for me, but I know that there are plenty of good macro traders and macro investors out there who it works for them doing something else. But, it's important to find out what actually works for you in investing and try to stick with that as best you can.
Fair enough. Okay, well, before we move on to the next one, I should say, maybe usability. Can you comment on that versus trading economics?
Yeah, I would say the usability is pretty good, but it isn't as good. Trading economics is just so easy and straightforward and intuitive, and they have them beat there a little bit. But Fred does make up for it with the downloading of data into Excel. So I guess it washes out a bit in that regard.
That's a nice feature. Okay, well, sticking with government and central bank databases, your next here, I see your third